Welcome everyone to another amazing open source live stream here on our epic thread-ripping building news distributions and other open source channel. Yesterday we experimented with 160 gigs of memory, and spoiler alert, I will not keep, although 160 gigabyte memory should be enough for everyone, but that is especially this 96 kit, this is apparently too much load for at least that gigabyte Aorus Masters X670E, because I need to way clock it down, right? It's not, I can't even get this 160. Other people for memory modules, like other YouTubers, yes, okay, if you use 32 gig modules, but that are 48 gigs for 96 kit and the largest, yeah, 32 gig. So if you use smaller modules, yeah, but you can get this with just one 64, 96 gigs. So anyway, long story short, 160 gigabyte are amazing and should be enough for everyone, but for me, too little clock. I rather swap the SSD. Pro tip, yeah, more swap, right? Just install this later. Not a paid advertisement, just random office supply my company grants me for our embedded Linux virtualization server and all the other amazing work. Another thing, I of course read the effing manual of Tmax, and because yesterday I had some challenges, just need to have some overview. Also YouTube, so maybe today, let's see if today we get a 4K live stream. I hope yeah, this should be 4K, right? Because yesterday YouTube was warning and stuff, so turns out you're supposed to use another profile, 5.2. I used, what did I use? Can I see that? Not that you would probably want to live stream. So yeah, level 5.2, I probably used 4.0 default compatibility mode. So, and also obviously constant bitrate, which I used variable for stability reasons. So today, constant bitrate, 10 megabits per second, and also normal latency. So usually I use low latency or so. So yeah, let's see if maybe some settings are not needed, and not like you would probably be YouTube live streamer, but at least probably choosing normal instead of low or lowest or whatever, lower, whatever latency. Anyway, so let's see, maybe today it is 4K, because I believe yesterday it didn't render in 4K. So with Tmax, yesterday of course I split the stuff here and so on, and that was of course freaking annoying to do this manually. Also best when you don't press random shit. And so that yesterday was of course, yeah, right, so this experience of like, yeah, I thought there surely must be some grid layout thing, and of course there is. So let's start some more builds, because you can never have, what is overload? Target, because we have a Linux distribution to ship, and there's like let's see how AVR 32 user, let's see, is maybe doing best with config. And let's also run like maybe alpha or stuff. Oops, this is nothing like over deleting here on this channel. And so now the trick is, so obviously this manual arranging stuff scales if you have like 2, 3, 4, maybe 5. But so the other is the Tmax, aka screen replacement, right? Probably I should D2 package Tmax there. Terminal multiplexing program, more modern and stuff. Why is this instead of Meson setup? What is that whining about? Unused runtime D or AVR. glib. Right, I had this yesterday. You know what, let's build something else, because I need to look into that. Like maybe Spark 6432, I believe. So the trick is now to use, there is a cycle layout thing. Oh, I also have my own live stream running. Welcome. Cool. People confirm there is now yeah, build code best epic thread ripping 2023 with 160 gigs of memory. Thanks for confirming there's a 4K option. That is amazing. I just need to, oops, darn. Okay, maybe pause there, close that pop-up. Too many buttons. Cycle layouts is by default in Tmax the prefix, which usually is Control B, but I remapped it to Control A for screen muscle memory compatibility, and then space. So that is toggling through these menus, which has a, like, one of those layout things is, even I tested this yesterday, so now we can do even more, like target. What else do we have to build? Oh, we have so much to build. Yeah, x32 for example, x32, and then let's split that more. Obviously that is what we have a 4K display for. And in the preview the lines already disappear for, yeah, so is that 1 pixel line or 2 pixel line, whatever. Anyway, so build, target, what else would we also have ARM version 7. Is it ARM version 7? Oh, best with config. And so then cycling this layout stuff, right, and boom, and of course, then we, oops, that was the wrong one. Split this further, and of course, I mean, the cycling is a little bit, nah, I mean, you, of course, if you constantly need this in, it's like, yeah, so much better than yesterday, right? So more builds, like, not even sure, do we build S390, but yeah, we surely can continue risk 5 and risk 5, 64. Where do we today have? Swap enabled, yeah. But yesterday some build failures were also actually memory stability. So even my, and this is already quite some overclock, right? So this 96 kit here, not to pay the advertisement, just what the only 96 kit I found a month ago. 96 gigabyte, rated 5600. Even that is already massive overclock to 6000, right? And so even that with my finely tuned subtimers yesterday, we had some build errors. Pretty not, either not stable, or I have another thing, maybe another small thing of small things to learn in between. The Ryzen, maybe this platform might not be fully stable from waking up. I don't know. I only have sample size 1, right? If AMD and Intel want to support this, or you want to shell accept temperature and stuff, I only have money for one 1750X. But at least this board, of course, it's not usually not CPU related. It's usually either general chipset and drivers and stuff, or more likely board and BIOS. Because when I suspend to memory Z for energy savings, and yeah, pro tip, maybe you want to suspend to disk and or power off, although you loosen your program state. But when I suspend to memory and wake up, usually some hours later, then often I get some, and is it NMI, non-maskable interrupt, or no, it's MCE, machine check exception. That already exists since Pentium Pro, whatever, even my IDT WinChip 2 had that 25 years ago. So I get the machine MCE machine check exception L3 cache parity or so, ECC checksum error and stuff, and no action needs to be taken, error corrected. And of course, I don't have this if I epic thread rip for 48 hours. I don't have this. Like I had this already 2 or 3 times when I suspended this workstation to memory. So I show 2023 suspend to memory and get some L3 cache error correction. And my suspicion is there is something not 100% perfect, not necessarily with, I mean, also, yeah, motherboard, firmware, whatever, microcode. Obviously, that shouldn't be that you wake up from suspend and you have machine check exception, cache correction errors, but also memory, right? So maybe the memory subtimings, because I dialed them slightly back now, a tiny little bit, because stability, but it was stable before, so maybe also some DDR5 training, whatever happens. So maybe either the temperature difference is just too huge, or, I mean, it could also be bit flips while suspend to memory, or some DDR5 training, waking up. Also, the memory difference is just too huge, cooling down to 18 degree, or maybe in the night, maybe even with open window, heat off in the office, or maybe even 16 degree or 15 or whatever it was some nights ago. Maybe the temperature delta between full operation 16, 60, 70 degree of stuff, and then what is it, 54 degree temperature delta or whatever. I don't know. I'm not the manufacturer of the CPU. I'm only the messenger of. There is some instability that obviously I can like navigate of. It's probably coming from that or so. But yeah, I don't have this issue with AM4, 5950X, 1350X, or the old AMD Phenom 2 or so, which we always suspend all our servers for 2 years now or 3 for saving energy saving measures. And I don't have any issues with Linux, obviously T2 Linux everywhere. Just so, yeah. AMD EDEC driver being extended to support Ryzen 7000 series CPUs. That sounds amazing. Can you write a script that will paint windows and then spawn whatever you want in them? You can write a script that will create paint windows and then... Yeah, I should look into this if I can. This would be the best if my driver, if I don't need to manually this. Yeah, that would be the best. So obviously we can... so this is, let's probably, what else do we need to build? Also I have 2 builds, so this is partially not ideal of overly excessive load here. Yeah, that is a test load that we... Also, the crazy stuff is with this 160 gigabyte of memory, which can post with 5600, which, yeah, is rated, but certainly way overclocked for AMD's specification of only 3000 whatever, 600 or something. Certainly way overclocked over AMD specification, but 5600 is also not stable for me, even with very conservative subtimings, or main and subtimings. And the irony is, the post memtest and stuff of the BIOS works, but then memtest 96, memtest 86 finds errors eventually, and also the best test is still booting Linux, and then even the Google app stress app test from years ago that Google released already. If you don't know that, this is an amazing stability testing. Here, stressful application test from Google. I think not a release for quite a while, unfortunately. That really sucks. They had some changes since then. So we are in T2, we're probably shipping 109. But yeah, memtest like BIOS post is garbage. It's like, yeah, it barely works, thank you very much. So you can totally not obviously trust the BIOS memory training thing. Memtest 86 is so lala, I said it before. If Memtest 86, the open source edition, gets half the memory bandwidth with the Linux kernel with RAID and stuff, or Google's stress app testing here, stress app test. It's like, yeah, Memtest 86 also not as amazing as, because like with half the bandwidth, obviously you're not stressing memory bus as much as you could. That is BTOP, recurrent theme here, that is BTOP, a very new thing that might not have the most features, but at least looks amazing. And we love look amazing. So, what else do we need to build? Did we build already x86-64 Muso? And last but not least, I probably should, yeah, because this layout, like toggling the layouts, is partially useless. Because not struggling. I wonder when stuff crashes because of terminal size changes. Like, yeah, I wonder, like, probably don't try this with BTOP. I would. Lots of programs. I mean, some programs even exit if the terminal size is too low. So probably BTOP would actually. I think BTOP only starts if you have 80 by 25 for stuff. But of course, other programs also easily crash if you resize your stuff like that. So I probably should have a... there is actually what even was the Tmax layout window panes. Yes, space. Oops, no. Space. Change layout. So even... maybe tiled, select layout, let's see, that is, what was it, I think column, yeah, select layout tiled, yeah, so that is tiled, So you, whatever that is there probably is the default binding for tiled. If not, you can make one of whatever liking. I mean, if you have such, like if you administrate, what also like if you watch server logs, like you have a server farm and stuff, like have your logs scrolling by, and you can also zoom in here, right? Like default set for zoom. Amazing stuff. I probably should check if we actually, are we supposed to build S390, because I might have S390 or only X. Yeah, only X, I believe, because the other is not yet S390. Let's delete this, not to confuse us constantly. I believe we built this already fully S390X, but maybe not. And yeah, let's like maybe map 64, and that is certainly how you have a load average of only 75. Yeah, I intentionally built those individual ISOs with parallel. Oops, no, I pressed also something, I believe there was download, but what did I? Maybe, whatever, what is it, init? Whatever. Hey, 0 frames. Yeah, BTOP. So we have some, so the last question would be, I believe most things should now mostly build. Where did I parked my other, maybe here, for debugging. And like yesterday, another second Tmax, and just for YouTube readability. And so the last thing would be, so we need some more, don't we? Maybe this is this default layout. What was this, by the way? Oh, no, it was not. Whatever. Let's build some more, just that it looks even. And test my memory. And then that, and that. Yeah. And what else do we need? Yeah, and if you need a new display at work and your boss doesn't want to approve 4K or 5K screen, then and they need to know why, then probably refer them to this video for some nice productivity bump. PowerPC 64LE. I believe Blackfin we don't currently build because it was too broken. Maybe Arc and Alpha Arc. Does everything else build? Actually, some stuff that does line wrap. So, but soon I need a magnification glass or new glasses. So, did we build a fully PowerPC already? Yeah, I still have some, as usual, I have some small things to still fix, some small bugs. And I also wonder, like, to keep everything the most tested, I probably should actually change one target to Clang by default, because I have here in my working copy, as usual, quite some working copy changes, and most of the remaining ones, I applied some yesterday, but lots of stuff is actually hacky, Clang warning removal and stuff, and so the things I quirked, like accept some things, but yeah, here's Clang, and then remove some implicit function declaration stuff, so just yeah, or even freaking no register. the problem is I don't really want to commit it like this were test hacks. And even though this is working, and that is a recurring theme here, right? Even more work needs to go into that. And maybe actually we could actually implement here some 32 thing, because in the meantime a handful of packages need, for example, DHCP of all things. Did I? What is this? Wow, the load must be massive. No, swap is not used yet. No, though. Yeah, that is why maybe probably I should rate 0 to NVMe SSDs. Obviously. Was it not DH? Why is this cannot? Okay, this is normal. Why is this so freaking slow? Yeah, spoiler alert. Is with this load, even a Ryzen 7950X becomes, load 116. Of course, and this stuff is building. Yeah, so for example, to my surprise, I also really wonder what I wonder why DHCP, what even they have in their sources that they require atomics for bloody DHCP server, whatever, database, locking currency, whatever. But this is a prime example of lots, nearly all, maybe all, of course not everything is built yet, but like lots of 32-bit CPU architectures require that, so maybe it would also be time to implement here. Maybe .32 and .64, we could have CPU or Arch 6432, but maybe we just name it 32 and 64 stuff. It usually, like, we could finish brainstorming this now, though. This would be like to replace this, so it would look like cross and gel and stuff, and then no LTO obviously for GCC, and then atomic. Should this be? Yeah, bits like nah, Arch. So, we could call it Arch CPU. Yeah, our stuff is not named CPU, so either Arch 32. Just brainstorming here. LTO, what looks the most natural? Arch 64, just as an example. Maybe Arch. Maybe it's just 32. You could know what it is, but yeah, maybe Arch 32 just as a hint what it really is. Because obviously it doesn't make the most sense to have here like all 30, like manually listing all the 32-bit architectures. Yeah, so that's up for release engineering. I guess I can go for lunch, have the stuff building. We probably could quickly Google reading the freaking manual, although it actually would kind of makes the most sense if we live stream something like this while I read the freaking manual. But yeah, T2 still remains to be the best system stability burn-in test. Obviously, if you embarrassingly overload your system like this, where's my mouse cursor? There's one. Tmax run command in new pane also. Is there something for that? Here, how to split a new window and run a command in this. How can we split window shell command? There's a freaking, yeah, also like Wayland, I don't have Sway configured. Probably, maybe with scale 2, it might, maybe I should check if with scale 2 it uses another pointer, because that microscopic small pointer, yeah. Update using tmax split window exec ping can run the ping command, but when stopped the new window will be closed. That's not the worst thing. Then they dynamically close on build error. It would be not the worst thing. So do they have split? Yeah, split window should be. Tmax split window. Let's split window. Yeah, so that gives a pane. Yeah, this should be probably scriptable. Can we? Maybe, yeah. Otherwise we open feature request. I will try this later. It's usually too boring to try and error this live on this channel. I mostly wanted to test this 4K settings and continue the build here, although something failed. And then with zoom, it's as easy as that. And that is a DHCP for, this is another atomic. Just what this is for arc. So yeah, let's add arc. Or you know what, let's do something useful. Let's do that arch to have a win-win, not only waste my and maybe your time, but I hope you enjoy this and learn something. So this is arch 32, and then let's, where is this? This is in probably function in has flag. Is it core? Somewhere there it must be. Has what? There it has flag. Which file was it? No, functions. Yeah, has flag. So do we have more of this has function? Also, yeah, the naming is unfortunately like this is get underscore. So it's unfortunately over the years, but yeah, even Microsoft. I mean, for sure, Microsoft Windows, Microsoft Software, Office, Apple has probably also naming inconsistency. I wonder if this should be rather. I mean, you could even make is flagged or so, but obviously we're not changing this today. Just I'm aware that some stuff is not ideal. So we have here arch, and maybe we make here a local arch 2. How do we best do that? Maybe so this is size of char pointer. Char pointer, just protect this in case it's not set, equals 4, which are some keyword today. Then arch 2 equals arch 32. Otherwise, arch 2 equals arch 64. That should be good enough until we have 128-bit computing. And then or that, maybe flag. Maybe we new line that here just for better grouping, because then we have arch or arch 2. That is a flag. Yeah, so if there is, yeah, that probably should be fine. Arch 2. Oh wait, I have a typo there. Did someone notice that? Or you add a pause at the end. Yeah, pause is not. I only see this. Pause is not so amazing. I mean, you could do like read, like until. Yeah, I mean, you could build command semicolon read in read key. You could do that to see when there's an error and this stuff not constantly auto rearranging. So let's switch back to that, and where's our arc? Is here, and everything else builds, which obviously we worked on it for 25 years and 4.5 live on YouTube. So if the HCP builds now, then we can commit this new arch feature, then we have implemented something else from our ever-growing to-do, which probably is not on this machine. Arch, convert atomic. Actually, I believe, did we not convert this fpic? I/O access becomes really slow. It's apparently not I/O limited, because I built most small things we built in tempfs, but there was a 30 megabytes back, not that much. Yeah, all the less than 30 or so megabyte compressed tarballs are built in tempfs, but yeah, probably there's just, so it's not I/O limited, it's just CPU cycle limited, right? If it's a load of 143, the kernel simply has no CPU cycles left to do all the better FS operations and stuff. Well, there was another 123 megabyte spike. Yeah, I believed I had done that. Mostly. Okay, maybe there is some left. Okay, I can leave it. There are some. Why do we have fpic and then var append? This looks a little bit. And that's another win-win of working on this and having the eye open a little bit on. Why would we have fpic and fpic? That looks. Let's delete this already and see if it causes any build issue. Maybe there's some left to convert. There are actually some old-fashioned Lua files. So yeah, I leave it there. Although I believe atomic I've done. Oh, there is still. Why is there? As usual, I thought I have done them all, and then live on this channel I still find them. Where's my freaking mouse cursor? I know what, a 16 or so pixel mouse cursor on 4K is really effing hard to see. I mean, yeah, it might work if I have. I mean, you would also think, if, in my opinion, like stuff like Sway, or I mean, maybe it's not the latest Sway version. Maybe they do this in the meantime, but like the 1 or 2 year old version, there, like why from the DPI, if DPI higher than 100 or so, or like around, like DPI divided by 96 or whatever DPI, and then round to 1.5 or stuff. Like, why is that not a thing since 10 years? I don't know. Atomic, hotfix, no atomic. Oh, this is another thing, but okay, here is Spark. We overlooked this somehow. Atomic. Spark, apparently. Oh wait, there was another. Oh wait, what was it? Or is it patch? Oh no, this is conditional patch. That is. Okay, so that's probably it for this massive parallel failing. Okay, DHCP. So this arc thing did not blend yet. What do we have there? Arch test. Char pointer 4. ACCV size of char pointer 4, arch 2, arch. It looks like it should work. L atomic arch 32. Let's try that again and take a closer look. And then we call this 4K. Live stream test a success. 0 frames. Wait, this sets arch. Ah, this is not set here. Why is this not set? Yes. Is this not CV? Do we have anything else that would be a little bit architecture arc? Maybe that is read later or so. That would be a little bit annoying. Ah, arch. Okay, I simply named this wrong. Was it arch size of character P? The name is so stupid because that is we used the name reused the name for compatibility 20 or so years ago with the regular configure automake name and stuff. That is why that is the name. So arch. Probably that has the chance to have worked now. What? Now it counts that some doc thing? Why though something? What the heck? Yeah, so this is there. It is there. I've no idea why this stuff fails now. That is bizarre. Yeah, but like that, there's always something. As it's just because it's running, or there's also something failed. GCC for extensor. Okay, let's probably better do that in here. So do we have any machine check exceptions? Not yet. Build extensor. Oh, multiple of this. That is not ideal. Maybe. Okay, apparently we had now. Okay, that is a little bit of a fail. Somehow, not all builds had the latest version. Apparently, oh darn! It looks like probably extensor just reconfigured. That is of course no. Okay, it's probably only extensor. Do we even build this, or is it a fluke that I built so wrong? Ah, that was a configuration we didn't even meant to build. Yeah. That was just for manual testing there. Long arch we can build so, or do we build MIPS? Maybe we don't build 32-bit MIPS yet. So yeah, no idea why arc. So the second time it built now, that is bizarre. Not really sure what happens there now, or does it still fail? But anyway, that's about it for this 4K UHD. 160 gigs of memory should be enough for everyone, at least for the next decade or so. The only constant is change and bloat, obviously, and bitrate and mob load. I hope you enjoyed this, learned something. Oh cool, this is even built now. Not sure what is up. Actually, let's commit this for maximizing. And then the really last, well, the really last thing, except fixing some more random stuff, will probably be adding actually a Clang by default target just to keep for the future Clang tested and Clang more tested, and actually cleaning up my working copy, because I would probably move what you have seen, the removal of W no register and other declaration and whatnot and so on. implicit declaration or whatever the case might have been. Move something of that mod, like maybe, like it makes no sense to clutter each freaking package with that, so probably moving a handful of those to the default general Clang filter stuff. So yeah, you know what, let's maybe commit this together with DHCP. Implemented support for conditional arch 3264. Yes, flag and use 40HCP. Implemented support for conditional .arch 3264 has flag and use it for DHCP allatomic 2. That probably should be local arch 2, arch size. Yeah, if you have anything shorter, then more readable. Have a good day and night. I have some build to continue and to go for lunch and stuff, and hope you enjoyed this and learned something, and hope to see you soon for all the probably Clang patching or other more amazing stuff to come. But yeah, T2 Linux, it now just freaking builds TM. Sebastian asks what the heck is even going on here. We are building cross-compiling 32 architecture variants, so 28, 29-ish, everything from ARM, MIPS, RISC-V, Spark PowerPC, Super H, Microblaze, and so on. 28 CPU architectures for this amazing Linux distribution, cross-compiling also on one epic thread-ripping Ryzen 750X, 160 gig memory probably should be enough for that, and fixing bugs and features. And it's 32-bit variants because we built some architectures twice, like x86. We built 32-bit, 64-bit, 64-bit in 32-bit pointer mode, x32, and one Musel variant, and so on. So that is how 28 or so, 29 CPU architectures become 32-bit variants. Hope you enjoyed this and learned something, and see you next time. Just